Bro, you got your Arrma Typhon too? You mean the TLR Tuned Typhon. This thing looks dialed. I know, it's gonna be a killer basher. I can't wait to send it. Dude, it's TLR tuned. It should hit the track. No, bro, I got this for a performance basher. There's no way I'm sending this thing. I'm just gonna lay down some laps and go for the win. But whatever you do with it is up to you. But for now, I'm gonna tell you guys about all of the features. All right, drivers, time to talk about why the TLR Tuned Arrma Typhon is so special. Now, as some of you know, TLR and Arrma are both under the Horizon umbrella, and I think it's really cool that they got the two together to create this buggy. And the reason being is the Typhon is a raceable type of buggy, in my opinion. It's got all the features of a race vehicle. We've got big bore shocks, tunable differentials, pivot ball front suspension. So I think it's really cool that they took TLR and asked them to really refine this thing to boost its performance. Not that to say it wasn't a performer before, but I mean, we all know it's a great basher, but I think this thing can really hit the track. And I know some people have taken it out club racing, but now it is really tuned to handle well. And for those of you that are bashers that want a high performance vehicle, something that will handle, I think you'll really appreciate this. And if you're a basher that may want to go to the track, I think this thing is really going to be for you because it's got some really cool stuff all the way down to the manual that it comes with. I'll talk about that later. It's really cool how they set that up. But first up, let me show you the box really quick. There's the box art back there, really good looking with the TLR Tuned logo. Really cool Arrma graphics, actually sprinkled with TLR Tuned graphics on there throughout the box. But here, let's start off by talking about the exterior features, and we'll start off with the body, which looks much like the Typhon body. That's because it is. They just put a racing scheme on it, and I love this scheme because it's the pink, purple, and white that they had on the Vortex, just in a more racing style graphic to it. Absolutely love it. Love the TLR Tuned logos throughout this. Really great looking buggy. Yeah, maybe it would have been cool if they incorporated the Proline body into this. I don't know. I've already picked up the Proline body that fits this buggy, but for bashing at the very least, that's gonna work well. And I don't know, we're going to try it out at the track, so maybe it'll work well at the track as well. But definitely, I like the new look. Next up that really grabs my eye is the D-Boots Exabyte tires. These are a really good looking tire. I like the racing style lug on here. It's a racing style compound from what it says on the box. Feels really good and feels like it's gonna be a long wear tire. So again, if you're a basher, I think this is gonna last a long time. And I think it's gonna be a pretty good gripping tire on the track as well. And these wheels, love the look of these wheels. Really well braced on the backside, 17mm hex of course, but nice wheel and tire package, and of course glued really well. There's foam inserts on the inside. I don't think they're urethane inserts by the feel of it. I can't really see inside the vent holes, but at the very least, it feels like a good tire that's going to work well in multiple areas. Now, next up is the spoiler out back. We got this TLR style spoiler. You know, it's a double deck. It's got the appropriate size dams on here for racing. And since it's a TLR style wing, you can go and install the wicker bill, and they actually include the wicker bill. I'll show you that in a little bit. There's two styles of wicker bill actually, so you could go and tune that. But that's about it for features on the outside, other than it's still got the tethers on there. Those are always appreciated when you're out there bashing and switching out battery packs and stuff. But now let's take a look at the inside of the buggy. And this is a really good looking machine. Now you can see that they've changed out the colors on this. You don't see the red anodizing that is the signature of Arrma vehicles. Everything that was red anodized is either now black or this bronze grayish anodizing that we've seen on TLR vehicles. And if you look throughout the buggy, you'll see the TLR Tuned logo etched through all of these parts, the chassis, the shock towers, the pivot block, even the Ackerman bar in there. Everything looks really good on this. We'll start up front like we normally do when we go through vehicles. And first up is that TLR Tuned shock tower. So really nice looking shock tower, thick, and you could tell it's machined unlike the stock Arrma vehicles that are stamped. So this is going to be a strong shock tower, T6 7075 aluminum, and that's what most racing vehicles spec for their aluminum parts on their cars. And there's T6 7075 aluminum throughout this car, including the chassis. So liking the look of the shock tower, if you look down where the upper arm pin mount is, you could see the inserts, and this goes to show you already how much tuning there is. They've got a double insert in here that really allows a lot of tuning options depending on how you adjust these inserts. So Already, I'm liking what I'm seeing as far as the tunability goes, and then even down into the A, B, C, and D pivot blocks. They are aluminum with inserts in there as well, so you could go and adjust things like anti-squat, you could adjust caster in here, you could adjust the arm height above, toe in the rear, anti-squat in the rear, sorry, kick up in the front, so everything is adjustable like you would expect from a racing vehicle. I mean, even down to the shock mounting positions. We got a number of shock mounting positions, so you can lean the shock down, move it out if you need to, and of course the adjustability of the pivot balls themselves. So they've retained the pivot ball suspension. You can see the nice shiny pivot balls on the outside going out to the steering knuckle. And I don't know if they changed the plastics. I didn't see anywhere where they may have changed the plastics, but these are, again, rigid enough for racing. There are droop screws in there, so you could adjust your droop on the arms, front and rear. Really always liked the look of the Arrma Typhon suspension setup. Sway bar is included, of course, but that's a must for racing as well. Then we move out to the steering knuckles. Again, you got your bulky steering knuckle with the aluminum steering mount on there. Again, anodized black instead of red. And let's move on to the shocks. So the shocks are pretty much the same from what I could tell on the outside, with the exception being that they are now black anodized with the TLR Tuned logo, boots to protect the shock shafts, thick shock shafts, but inside they have tapered pistons, and that's something you see in racing as well. The tapered piston allows for better rebound, so as the tire stays on the ground, you're in control of the vehicle. The shocks are filled with 42.5 weight oil, front and rear, and it does feel like there is a bit of pack in these. Kind of feels a little bit to me more like a basher style of setup, but nonetheless really smooth shock setup. They built these right, bladders on the inside. And again, I might be just a little too picky. Maybe once we get some weight in this vehicle, the feel will be a little bit better, but definitely like the look of these shocks. And they have the little protectors on top, really nice stands, easy to go and adjust the position of these by removing the nut on the back side of the shock standoffs. Again, stuff you would expect from a racing vehicle. All right, now let's move to the back really quick since we're talking about the suspension, and we've got those big bore shocks on the rear as well. Again, pretty much everything the same as the front, tapered pistons on the inside, TLR Tuned logos, black anodizing, rubber boots on there, and then the H arms on the rear. Again, they feel really good, feel nice and strong for racing. Droop screws. We got composite hubs on the outsides and an adjustable link up top, so you can go and adjust camber easily. They are galvanized coated, so unlike the steel ones that may rust, those will stay nice and shiny. Of course, there's a sway bar on the rear as well. Let me just show you really quick. There is the rear shock tower. Check out all of the upper link mounting positions on that. Definitely a lot of tuning options throughout this car. And even down to the inserts in the rear pivot block. Loving that TLR Tuned logo on this throughout this whole car. All right, next up, let's talk about the drivetrain on this. So it's pretty much the drivetrain lifted from the Typhon. The only changes that I think are in here, it's been a while since I've had a Typhon, is the oils. They have 7,000 in the front, 10,000 in the center, 7 in the rear, and if that's stock in a Typhon, you can let me know in the comment section below. But up front, we got the CV style axles, really heavy duty looking axle on this, full ball bearings throughout, seal ball bearings, nice lightweight looking out drives. On the center differential, we've got a 52 spur gear. They don't include a pinion gear with this. Actually, as you could see, they don't include any electronics. This is a roller. I don't think I mentioned that before. But back to the drivetrain, dog bones in the center and dog bones in the rear. Of course, everything looks heavy duty. They have the safety drive cup set up on here where it's got that keyed out drive to the input shaft that goes to the rear differential. I did go and pull the rear diff cover off. Really easy to get access to the differentials in case you need to swap out the oils or just do some maintenance on this. Everything was well greased on the inside, even down to, I saw grease coming out of the outdrive shaft area where they were assembling it, and I saw that they used grease to assemble that, which is great in my opinion. They made sure to pay attention to all the details of how a racer would really build this kit. So again, I like what I see throughout this. Aluminum motor mount, black anodized now, and I think that really makes up the drivetrain. Next up, let's talk about the chassis details here. So this is a TLR Tuned chassis. Let me flip this up. Did I do it the right way? No, I didn't do it the right way. I'll spin it around so you can see the logo appropriately. There is the TLR Tuned logo on the 7075 chassis. Good looking chassis, of course, and it is milled to reduce the weight on it. You can see the pockets up top here. Of course, it's probably cut properly, so we get the appropriate amount of flex in the rear. So we've got some rear traction in this, composite chassis braces. Up front here, we do have, I think this is the EXB compatible top plate. Looks like we got the 4mm hole over here. But aluminum top plate, as you can see, we've got an aluminum block here for the suspension as well. Just wanted to point that out. The receiver box here, plenty of space inside to fit your receiver and any extra wire from your servo or your speed controller. Then your standard style Arrma battery tray, where we've got 2 Velcro straps here. We got the adjustable front to allow you to fit different size battery packs in here, and even the hold down for the balance tap. That's a nice little feature that I like that they include in this kit. However, I'm gonna be using a smart battery, won't need to use that, but let's spin this around so we can see the servo tray here. And this is aluminum, so I really like that they've spec'd an aluminum servo tray. Keep this solid. Right behind it is the ESC tray. Even comes with 2 screws, so you can go bolt down a Spectrum speed controller in there. And then the steering. I didn't talk about the steering before, so we got twin crank steering, servo saver, of course, and they've got a TLR tuned Ackerman bar in there, and plenty of adjustment holes for your steering link. And again, we've got those galvanized coated steering links going out to the steering knuckles. Like some of their other cars, they also include an aluminum servo horn. That's really good to see. This will mate right up to a Spectrum servo. Good looking setup throughout. Mud guards on the back. I forgot to mention it also has aluminum wing buttons like that they included the aluminum wing buttons so the screws don't pull through. And I think I've covered everything you need to know about this. Obviously, it's a roller. You need to go and supply all of your electronics, but at least you didn't have to build it. And I think they built it right. All right, let's come over here so I can show you what else comes in the box. All right, so again, there's the box that it comes in, really well supported on the inside so it doesn't get damaged during shipping. And these are the items that you'll find inside the box. You'll find a cross wrench here. You'll be using the 17mm hex part of that to get the wheels off. Check out the bag of inserts that they give you. Again, plenty of tuning options here. And even the inserts, so it's again the double insert here, so you go and adjust everything on this car. Gonna be crazy. I don't even think I'm gonna open that bag. It's probably set up well from the factory. Don't get scared off by all the tuning adjustments. They give you some shims in case you want to shim the differentials. It's always good to check your gear lash in any racing vehicle, or any vehicle for that matter. Some screws that go with the wicker bills. Here are the 2 different wicker bills, one with a long top to it and then the short top, and it will go through the tuning in this manual here. Now this manual is probably one of the best manuals I've seen, and if you've been thinking about racing, maybe you're a basher, kind of thinking about racing, this is a manual to check out. I mean, I am going to keep this as a reference because TLR, worked with Arrma to create a fantastic manual that tells you what happens when you make adjustments on the vehicle. So, for example, if you go and put different oils in your shocks, it will tell you what that change is going to do, what it's going to do on the track. If you make adjustments to your suspension pins, it's going to tell you what happens if you change the toe or the anti-squat or the caster. It goes through everything to make it nice and easy for you to learn how to tune your car. Absolutely love this manual. So again, you've been thinking about racing, a little worried about the tuning, this is going to walk you through it. I mean, even down to the Ackerman positions, sway bar, everything. This is one of the best tuning manuals I've seen come with a car. Absolutely perfect. Then it comes with some decals in case you want to throw a little bit more TLR Tuned decal action on your vehicle. The technical pack here, this kind of just goes through the exploded view of parts so you could see it closer. But this, they even have a setup sheet. You can go make copies of this, and when you go and tune your vehicle, you write down your changes and you can decide whether those changes work for you until you have the best setup for your particular driving style. And then your usual paperwork, warranty information, Proline catalog. And over here, these are the parts that I'm going to install in my buggy. Now, I'm gonna go with a Spectrum setup here. I've got my DX5 Pro radio system with the SR315 receiver. I've got an S6290 brushless servo. high-speed servo, 100C 5000 milliamp G2 pack. And then I'm gonna run the Spectrum Firma ESC with a 1900 kV motor for bashing. And I might bring a Tekin system along with me in case I want a little bit better feel when I hit the track with this thing. Well, I think that's everything you guys need to know about the TLR Tuned Arrma Typhon. If you want to see more photos of this buggy, I'll have them over on rcdriver.com. I'll have links in the video description below, along with links to everything that you see here. And if you want to see this buggy run and the electronics installed, you're going to have to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell for part 2 of this review. All right, let me know what you think of the buggy in the comments section below. Throw the video a like, and we'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.